Hi, today I'm going to test a new power station that I received. This was sent to me to do a review and testing on. It is a Allpowers S2000 model. It's 1500 watt hour. It runs a continuous of 2000 watt AC and 4000 watt surge. So let's go ahead and take a look up real close. Here it is up close. It's got the AC ports on top. It's put up as kind of upside down, I would say. The ground is on top, and you got the neutral and positive facing downward. You got the AC car plug here. Looks like it's got two USB-C port, four USB-A. The USB-C is 100 watt max. You have looks like it's a Wi-Fi button here. I believe it has an app in it. I think it does. I saw it on the manual. It does have an app that you can use on your phone. It's got the AC on and off button, DC on and off button. You have the XT60 plug here, which is for solar charging. Let's look back behind it. You have the fan here. You have an AC plug here, which is for charging. Looks like it's just a plug, so which is good. You don't have to carry a bulky charger around. Just carry a cord for it, AC cord. The fan on the other side. It's got two handle on here, which is easier to carry with two hand. Good place to carry it. Then you have the flat top here. You can put stuff on top. Especially when you put it in a car, you can put stuff on top of it easily. It doesn't have wireless charging on top. Just a flat surface. Here's what it comes with. You have the manual, you have the AC cord, you have, looks like a MC4 solar charging. Then you have the car charger. And it comes with the case that you can put all the cables in there. And it also comes with a cover for it, just to keep it from getting dust if you store it. Let's go ahead and turn it on here. Okay, turn on 69% in there. I didn't charge it, this is out of the box. Turn on AC. So you have to hold the AC button. You hear the fan come on for a second there. You can see an icon of the fan running, showing 0 watt right now. Let's go ahead and turn on DC. Just one press. I was holding it. Looks like you just press it once, real quick, and it turns on DC. Alright, let's see if we turn off AC. Is it one press? No. So you got to hold that. And what about DC? So DC seems to be one press. AC, you seem to hold it for a few seconds. Yeah. There we go, it turned on. Let's look at the manual real quick. This is where it shows it does have the app for it. Sorry, the shadow here. It does show that it has the app for it. Bluetooth. Turn on the Bluetooth instruction. I usually don't use the app because there's no reason for me to use it, but if you like, you can always download the app and possibly control it, and then look at the settings in it. Let's look at the battery on it. So it's a lithium ion. It's not lithium ion phosphate, just a lithium ion. 1500 watt hour. It's got an input for AC of 400 watt max, so that means it only charges at 400 watt max. But solar charging, it charged up to 500 watt. Output on it is 2000 watt, surge at 4000 watt. Then a 13-volt carport, and I believe it's regulated. All right, let's do a test. Usually all my review is I do AC tests and DC tests to see if it gets the capacity that it was rated at. So let's go ahead and charge it up to 100%. Let's go ahead and weigh it and see how much it weighs. I have a scale here, which is 0 out right now. Lift this with one hand. And it weighs 31.8 pounds. It's got pretty good weight to it, which is typical for this size of a power station. Okay, I plug in the AC charger and you can hear the fan running. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the fan is running right now. It's showing 387 watt charging. Show the battery level moving. Not sure what that time is down there at 2:08:39. It looks like 2 hours, 208 hours. I'm not quite sure what that is. I'll have to look that up. It's a little bit off. It should say certain hours for it to fully charge, but 208 hours or 39 hours doesn't seem right. Before we do the capacity test on it, let's do a load test on it. Let me go ahead and unplug the charging. It's at 99% right now. Let's go ahead and plug a dryer and see what it pulls at. And let's do a load test on it. So I do find this outlet kind of awkward since it's upside down. I guess because they don't want it to cover some of this stuff if you have an adapter that kind of points down. But they could at least put it on the side or somewhere in the bottom or on that side. But yeah, it just looks kind of awkward. Let's go ahead and turn on my dryer here. The AC is on right now. Put it on hot. So that's pulling 1300 watt and it's still running. Let's go ahead and plug in my heater also that I have. We'll plug that in, run at the same time. We'll turn on that heater. The little heater there is pulling about 700, 800, is ramping up. So it's pulling about 1000 watt right now. This power station is rated at 2000 continuous. Let's go ahead and turn on my dryer back on, hair dryer. We'll put it on warm and low. So that's close to 2000 watt. Let's see if I can turn it up a little bit more. So that's right on 2000. Just a little over 2000. Let's go ahead and see if I can get up a little bit higher. So that's the highest setting, and it tripped. So it was right around 2000. It didn't see a surge, but it was definitely way above. It's probably hitting 3000 watt or so. Let's see if I can turn it back on. Let's turn it off. Turn the heater off. And let's turn the AC back on. And it is back on. Okay, so we know that it can run about 2,000 watt continuous. Over 2,000, it did go over 2,000, went to about 2,200 for pretty much for a while, and it never did trip until it cranked up to probably close to 3,000 watt. That's when it tripped. But okay, we'll go ahead and do the capacity test on it. But so far, the continuous test is pretty good. It is now fully charged. Let's go ahead and do a capacity test on it. What I noticed, it says 60 hertz here for the AC frequency, but it's actually 50 hertz. So I need to tell the manufacturer that's not right. It says 60 on here, but it seemed like it's not actually running 60. It's actually 50 hertz, and it's showing 113 volt, which is fine. It's probably 110, but it's showing 112.8. For the 50 hertz, from what I read, the electronics should be okay. It doesn't care what hertz it is. It's usually you run some kind of motor, like maybe a blender or a pump or something. It will run 20% slower if it's on a 50 hertz. Usually 50 hertz is only in Asia or Europe. So this system was probably built for Asia and Europe, and they just changed it to 110 volt, but they didn't change the frequency on it. So we go ahead and run our capacity test, which is using my light here. And let's go to the capacity. So right now it's reset to 0. And it's pulling about 45 watt right now. So we'll let that run until it's finished, and then we'll come back and see what the watt hour is for AC. Okay, now it looks like it finished. It shut off. Let's see if I can turn it back on. It's showing 5%. It tried to come on. It came on and then it shut off again. All right, so let's see how many kilowatt hour. 927 watt hour. So not even 1 kilowatt hour. So it shows in the booklet or manual that it should be 1,500 watt hour, and it's only getting 927 watt hour. And so that means it's 62% efficiency. That's not really that great. Normally I should get around at least 80% efficiency. So AC is not efficiency as much. Let's go ahead and do the DC test on it. So the battery is fully charged back up now. So let's go ahead and test the DC side. So what I just noticed here, so DC is off right now, but my meter is getting voltage, and I can still get a load on it. See, it's still pulling a load on it. And when you, because it's supposed to be off right now, and this is on, and it makes no difference. Even when you turn it off, no difference. Still have voltage. But when you turn it on, it shows here that the DC is supposed to come on. But when you turn off, I still have voltage. Let's test the plug here. Let's see if it still have voltage. I have a charging cable here. So one side's on the phone, and let's plug the other end to a USB-C. So it has no power. So probably it only turns off those those USB ports. Okay, now it turns on. Okay, so it looks like the car plug stays on no matter what. Yep, it turns off. So these DC only control these ports, these USB port. It doesn't control the car plug. You would think all DC is also part of the car plug. Okay. What happened when I put a load? Does it show any load? Okay, so it does show a load on there even when it's off. Yep, so there's no load, it turns off. Or actually it doesn't show with an icon here. But technically it's still on because it's got voltage. It's showing about 13 volt right now. Okay, well that's weird, that's strange. Now the question is, does it let you turn off? Is there a power button here that actually turns everything off? That turns on Bluetooth, looks like. So there's not really an off button on this power station. Nothing there. So that turns on AC. Okay, the question is, let's see if it turns off AC. I'll plug my light back in. Okay, my light is on because AC is on. What happens when I turn it off? Okay, so it does turn off. So the AC is fine, but pretty much everything stays on. Well, not everything stays on, but the DC stays on. This plug right here. This DC is off. This is off. So the only thing that stays on pretty much 24/7, you can't turn off, is this car port, this car plug. Okay, let's continue our DC test. So I have a meter here, is 0 out. And let's test the efficiency on a DC. Let's put a load on it. Let's do about 50 watt, which is let's do 40 watt. Let's do 40 watt. You can ignore that volt. That's wrong. This is only for loads. It's that meter is not right. That reading's not right. It's not 9 volt. It's about 11.95 volt right now, and it's pulling about 5 amp. Okay, we'll let that run and see how many kilowatt hour we pull out DC. I'll come back when it's done. DC test is finally completed. So it's at 1885 watt hour. Wow, so it's actually more than 1500 watt rated watt hour for DC. So DC is very efficient. That's at least 100% efficiency. And the battery is completely dead now, and it stopped pulling the load. It actually shut off, but I plugged it back in just to bring the power up so you can see the meter. But yeah, 1800 watt hour. That's actually way more than what's rated at 1500. Probably close to 2000. It looks like it's only AC that's very inefficient. So that's pretty much my test right there. So there were some stuff that was some stuff that I didn't really like, but it's still usable. It's a decent power station. You can definitely use it. You can definitely take it out and use it just like a normal power station and power some of your stuff. There were some stuff that didn't really like that I mentioned. It was the outlet being upside down. I'm not sure about that because some stuff you plug, it's usually a pack, and so the pack will probably have to be upside down in some cases. There's also, it's running, it says it's at 60 hertz, but it's showing, but it's really at 50 hertz frequency on 110 volt. So Maybe that's affecting the AC capacity test. Maybe because it's not running at 60 hertz. That's why the efficiency is pretty much way off. And also another thing, it's the car port, the car plug stays on. Even you turn it off or on, it stays on no matter what. There's still voltage going through it. Even when you press the DC button, turn it off, it still stays on. So that pretty much, I don't know if that's going to affect anything. It shouldn't be a problem as long as you have to remember to turn it off. I mean, unplug it. I'm sorry, not turn it off, but unplug it. So I have to make sure you have to unplug it if you don't want any voltage to your DC stuff on your car adapter. Another thing, it doesn't have a main power off button. I noticed you can't turn everything off all at once. It's either turn off AC or turn off DC or turn off both or turn on both separately. So it's not a main power button or power switch that you can just flip off that turns off the whole unit. So if you will put this in storage and accidentally hit the button or any button on there, it would pretty much turn on, but it just turns on the LCD. But it'll be nice if it has like a whole power button. That's pretty much it, really. There's nothing else that I think that's wrong with it. Those are some of the stuff that I mentioned. Like I said, it's a decent power station. You can definitely use it, take it out camping, power any of the stuff that you need, that you want. With the 50 hertz, if you run a blender, it might affect the speed of the blender. That's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, it's a good power station to use. To some of you guys, it might take you away from using a power station. For me, if you just use it for basic stuff, it works just fine. You don't need any special features on it. It does have Bluetooth, but I don't usually use the Bluetooth on it anyway. So that pretty much concludes my testing, and thank you for watching.